Countdown to Economic Collapse, June 17th, 2012. As predicted, the oil embargo in Iran has triggered higher fuel prices, and Obama has had 62% increases in the stock market because banks got loaned money, and that's your money going down the toilet.
There have been news reports that the trustee in charge of MF Global's bankruptcy is thinking about paying bonuses to top MF Global executives, even though the company is now bankrupt and thousands of their customers' money is still missing.
Again and again and again. But we need to change the attitude of the Russian and Chinese governments. They must understand they are setting themselves against the aspirations not only of the Syrian people, but of the entire Arab Spring, the Arab awakening.
Moscow's saying that the Syrians should resolve the crisis themselves, at least try to, without that external involvement or international pressure in any shape or form where it may come. Do you think the people of Syria can manage without Western involvement, though?
First of all, I think that there's absolutely no justification for any kind of foreign interference modeled on Libya. If there is any kind of action to be taken, it should be taken against the NATO powers which are interfering in the internal affairs of sovereign countries. We have information that NATO headquarters in Brussels and the Turkish High Command are in fact drawing up plans for their first military step into Syria, and we also know that NATO is in fact recruiting mujahideen, jihadists, to assist them in their campaign in these various countries.
So when you look at how the socialist model that Barack Obama is promoting is hurting our country because he's supporting mega corporations, and I think they call that...
I think that's called fascism.
It's National Socialism. The same thing that Hitler had in the 1930s, where big corporations have unfair advantage and the government apparatus is used by those corporations to help profit the corporations. And we don't want that. We want the people of America to actually get in on the productivity. If the government were to create a business that competed in our economy, the taxpayer would reap rewards. You'd have less taxes charged to you. There'd be savings. Say the government produced plug-in electric cars that could ultimately provide a much better fuel economy for everybody, and it cost around $15,000. The taxpayer would get a benefit. Much like the taxpayers in Alaska get money back from the oil in Alaska, you, the U.S. taxpayer, will receive money back from these programs or these small businesses the government creates, which is a simple solution.
And then by actually purchasing one of these products from the U.S. corporation, you would be helping our country.
Right.
The people, you would be helping our country.
You'd be helping America by buying American. And I think a lot of people would really get into this idea. I know a lot of people are concerned about jobs being outsourced. I mean, look at Obama recently. He set up 3 bridges
Oh, the ones that are going to be built in America, but by Chinese nationalists?
Yeah. Let me play that clip from Diane Sawyer. Check this out.
And as you know, ABC News is always looking for ways to bring American jobs back to America. So this week, it was shocking to learn so many great infrastructure projects are underway in America, rebuilding bridges and roads in American cities, but they've hired Chinese firms and Chinese workers.
Rebuilding America's crumbling infrastructure is now a priority.
Help us rebuild this bridge. Help us rebuild America. Help us put construction workers back to work.
In New York, a $400 million renovation of the Alexander Hamilton Bridge. In California, a whopper, a $7.2 billion new bridge to connect San Francisco and Oakland. And in Alaska, a proposed $190 million bridge project. Sounds like a great opportunity for government spending to actually lead to real jobs. The problem? Much of the work is going to Chinese government-owned contracting firms.
When we're subsidizing jobs in China, we're not creating any wealth in the United States.
In Alaska, outraged union workers took to the airwaves with an obvious point.
This is not the time to send more jobs to China. Our tax dollars will provide hundreds of jobs there, not at home.
U.S. law actually requires major infrastructure projects to buy America when the cost difference is reasonable. In California, U.S. firms say they would have met those guidelines, but state officials decided to turn down federal money for a major part of the bridge, allowing a Chinese company to get the job at a cost of almost 3,000 American jobs and a potential $1 billion boost to the struggling California economy.
So as you can see, Obama is actually helping Chinese nationals in America, not Americans with jobs. You know, his job czar, Jeffrey Immelt, he's the CEO of GE.
Okay.
He actually outsourced 25,000 U.S. jobs to New Delhi over the past 2 years. This is the guy that Obama wants to create U.S. jobs. He outsources to New Delhi for GE.
Oh, and by the way, they call those American jobs even though they are foreigners working in another country. As long as a corporation is an American corporation.
Oh, really? Wow.
They call them American jobs.
That's a loophole there.
So, you know, no wonder they claim, oh, we created so many jobs, but how many Americans are still out of work?
Yeah, really. So this dialogue about our country is just beginning. I mean, people like you and I, average Americans, are waking up to the reality that Obama's not going to create jobs in the next 4 years. He hasn't done it in 3.5. What makes us think he's going to create them in 4? So we're really starting to think about how our country can get ahead of its debt, individually and as a nation, how we can start to resolve some of these huge spending things that are going on. The military-industrial complex, Obama giving the okay to $662 billion, ridiculous. Obama getting us in more wars, another ridiculous thing.
I would just want to say one of the things that I encourage everybody to do while you still can is start a garden. It's not too late this time of year. Buy some already sprouts, seedlings, and start a garden so that you can actually help with your own personal budget.
Yeah, be prepared. You know, they did that during World War II, the Victory Gardens.
The Victory Gardens, exactly.
There's another way in which we can deal with the economic crunch, food crisis that could be coming. All of this is very, very serious. And if America doesn't prepare, we're not going to be ready. We have to start realizing that our country is going to fall down the same path many European countries are facing right now, like Greece. And if we don't get a control of our budget crisis, and the two parties haven't done anything to cut the budget, really.
I know.
If we don't deal with that, then we are going to be facing that type of a collapse to our economy in the coming years.
But yeah, it's been said that we could have a debt ceiling negotiation happen before the November election. That's how rapidly our government is spending money. We all remember that one that happened in just last year in 2011, and now it's up again because they are spending money just so rapidly. They're not addressing our national debt, they're just increasing our national debt.
That's the telltale sign that the two-party system is failing America. And we have to start figuring out how to solve this problem using compromise between the fiscal conservatives and the social liberals. We've got to find a pathway, and that's why we created America's Third Party, to do just that. And I invite all of you to come into our show weeknights, 6 to 8 Pacific, and talk with Sarah and I about how you think this country could solve its economic problems and get on the right track again, because we clearly are off the right track.
Right. Just go to americasthirdparty.com and click the chat button, and I look forward to listening to you.